there! Today I'll be giving you a quick tour of the MP3 Books iOS application. So first of all, once you've downloaded the app and used it a couple of times, when you open it, the home screen essentially for this app is going to be the player for the most recent book you're listening to. From here, you can access the rest of the app's features by clicking on the navigation button, the hamburger icon in the top left-hand corner. So once you click on that, you'll get a drop-down menu that gives you all the different options. So let's say I want to listen to a different book. I can click on Books, and then this screen will appear where all of the books that I moved over from iTunes from my computer over to the app, I can then see. In this case, all of the Harry Potter books. Now, to add books, you can click on this little button right up here, and it will give you a quick little instructions point by point to tell you what to do. Or, as we'll see later on, you can go to the navigation menu and click the Help button, which will also give you the same instructions. So let's say I want to listen to The Chamber of Secrets. So once I select that book, it will take me to the audiobook player screen for that book. From there are obviously some great features, the reasons why I actually downloaded this app. First of all, nice big pause play button, very nice, very handy. Next, you can change the playback speed, one of the key features why I downloaded this app. For most audiobooks, I tend to like the 1.2 speed. It's a little bit faster, it helps me get through the book faster, but it's not so fast I have to really work hard to understand the narrator and the audiobook reader. This particular app can go from 0.5, so slower, all the way up to 3.0, which is incredibly fast. So depending on whatever you like to listen to speed-wise, can definitely fit your needs and your wants. A next part that I like is that you can seek large chunks of the audiobook, which is handy since MP3s don't always have chapters built into them. As you progress throughout the audiobook, a progress bar will appear on the pause play button, as well as here on this portion, and on the books screen. There's little circles to the right of the audiobooks that you have in your library, essentially, that will show you how far along you are in each of those books. From here, I should also mention, up at the top, you can access a shortcut to your books or to the sleep timer, which we'll get into in a little bit. You can add a bookmark by adding and pushing this little button right here. The default title will always be the title of the book, as well as the number bookmark, number 1 or number 2 bookmarks you've done for that book. However, you can definitely change the name, and once you hit save, that will be saved and logged underneath the bookmarks portion of the navigation menu. So from here, let's go to Sleep Timer, which can be accessed either through the audiobook player shortcut or through the navigation menu. This is a feature I don't tend to use quite as much, but you can definitely use it to select a delay to stop playing. There's a range of options from a set 5 to 30 minutes to a custom to even the end of the chapter. That is if your MP3 has chapters built in, or if you have created chapters because your MP3 is broken up into smaller chunks. Now let's take a look at history, which is a feature that I was surprised to find on the app, but I actually like the feature. What it does is it logs different events that happen from playing, pausing, or even having your headphones disconnected, which the last one is probably the one that this feature is most useful for. So if my headphones get disconnected and my audiobook keeps playing, then I can go back and know exactly where I was when the audiobook starts. Now, I don't actually know if you I know on Apple products, if you disconnect your headphones, then it automatically stops whatever you're listening to. So I actually don't know if that happens in this app, but if it doesn't, this is a great way. Each of these entries act as a bookmark. This is a great way to get back to wherever you were when that happened. Now let's look at settings. There are multiple different options that help customize this app to your wants, likes, and dislikes. The one that I tend to always turn off is the auto playing after launch. I just don't like it to start right after I open the app, but you can turn that off in settings. I also tend to turn on auto rewind, which is when you start playing an audiobook, since you've paused it or opened it up, it will jump back a couple seconds and then keep moving forward. You can change how many seconds it goes back by clicking on this gears setting icon. The last settings feature I tend to use is to change the color theme sometimes from day to night. When it's on night, it's this more darker contrast with grays. This is helpful for like it is at night, or in my case, since I have an older iPhone, conserves battery because it's less brightness. But it can easily be turned back into day. Now let's look at the help real quickly. This is just how you simply can upload your audiobooks depending on whether you use Android or you use a different operating software. It will change the tutorial as to how to upload the MP3s. For iTunes, it gives you a very easy way to do so, as well as a YouTube video. Now, I have three pretty much the nightmares as far as integration. I have an iPhone 5, I use iOS 9, and I have a Dell laptop. And even with all three of those, I had no issue whatsoever getting my MP3s over to my iPhone and listening to them. So very happy, very pleased with that aspect of this app. Now you should note that whenever you are in any part of the app, say history or bookmarks, if you push back, it will take you back to the home screen of the app, which is going to be the playing, the pausing, and the player. Lastly, when you're in the app, on the very bottom, you have the options for upgrading to the Pro features, which for this app I would actually recommend, mainly because the way they've built the app is you can't use it practically for an extended period of time without getting rid of the ads and without removing the limited duration as to how long you can listen to it. There's always going to be an ad here at the bottom of the screen, and there will be pop-up ads that will come up every once in a while, and then you also have a limited amount of time you can listen to the audiobook. So even though I don't always like to pay for the apps, in this case I think it's worth it. It's only, I think, around $3 to remove all the features, so I recommend you do that. And you can also access the most recent books that you've been listening to down here at the bottom. When you're on the home screen, you can swipe up and get to a control aspect where you can play, pause, skip forward, skip backward 15 seconds, and that is also available on the lock screen, which is a feature I was very happy to have as well, having a customized player for my audiobooks rather than just iTunes or music. My overall thoughts is that I think this is a very cheap and quick alternative to Audible or Overdrive. On Audible, let's face it, no one ever spends just the monthly subscription, and you always end up spending a lot more money than you need to. And on Overdrive, though I use Overdrive for the majority of my audiobooks, a lot of times I want to either just outright own the book, or it's a ridiculously long wait time with all the holds, or there's not enough copies. So I like this option for a very cheap and quick alternative to listening to audiobooks. I found it very easy to use. There wasn't a feature of the app, besides the ads, that I thought was weird or sticky or wasn't helpful or wasn't able to use it well. There's sometimes a tiny bit of a lag when you first open up the app. It's nothing to actually impact the accessibility of the app or the usability of the app, but it does happen occasionally. Once you're in the app, it tends to not happen just when you open it. But as I stated, I would recommend an upgrade to the Pro version, just because how they built the app is kind of what you have to do. But it's a good thing to taste the app, see if you like the setup, see if you like how it works. In this case, I do, so I will be upgrading to the Pro version. My last tip to fellow book lovers is eBay. So on eBay, you will find hundreds of MP3s that you can buy from people that are either CDs or they actually will email you the link to download the MP3s, which is what I did for the Harry Potter series. I loved the books. They were so overly popular on Overdrive. I wanted to buy them, but the CDs themselves are about $190, so really expensive. On eBay, I was able to get them for $10 because the link was emailed to me, it was free shipping, and I got it from a licensed copyright seller, so it was perfectly legal. So great little tool if you want to build your audiobook library. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful.